So Elon Musk just went and did it. He casually dropped maybe the most insane product teaser in Tesla's entire history. He didn't just hint that the long delayed Roadster is finally coming, he suggested it might actually fly. So yeah, we need to talk about this. The question on everyone's mind is pretty simple. Is this a real breakthrough, or is it just the slickest marketing play we've seen in years?
And this is the quote that basically broke the internet. In an interview, he guarantees this unforgettable demo. And when the interviewer pushed him on it, he said, whether it's good or bad, it will be unforgettable. I mean, that is classic Elon, right? A massive promise wrapped in a whole lot of mystery.
And you know what happens next? With a potential reveal maybe just a few months away, the speculation has just gone into absolute overdrive. People are talking about retractable wings, SpaceX rocket thrusters, the whole shebang. He's even out there questioning if we should even call it a car anymore, which, just adds fuel to the fire.
So let's really try to break this down. Are we watching him push the absolute limits of what's possible, or is he just pushing our buttons with some perfectly timed hype?
Okay, first, let's make the case for taking this whole thing seriously. Because, as totally wild as a flying car sounds, you have to admit, Elon Musk has a pretty solid history of delivering on promises that sounded completely impossible at first. I mean, just look at SpaceX. People literally laughed at the idea of landing orbital-class rockets upright so they could be reused. It was straight-up science fiction. And now, it's so routine it's almost boring. But he did it. He delivered. And it's not just about rockets, right? He promised the world's fastest production car. And what did Tesla do? They gave us the Model S Plaid, which is an absolute monster on the track. So you see this pattern, turning these huge, audacious claims into actual, real-world things. That's the core of the genius argument. And the list just keeps going. Starlink is literally beaming internet down from space. The Cybertruck, love it or hate it, is a 7,000-pound beast that accelerates faster than a lot of sports cars. He has this track record of turning hyperbole into hardware. So you gotta ask, why not a flying car next? But then there's the other side of the coin. For every promise he's delivered on, there's a whole history of legendary delays and some, let's say, very questionable timing. And this is where the case for "it's all hype" really gets its legs. This pattern of delays is honestly incredible. Full self-driving has been just around the corner since 2016. The semi-truck and the original Roadster were announced way back in 2017. People put down deposits for those things and are still waiting. It shows this consistent gap between his timelines and, reality. And this isn't just some abstract problem, it has real consequences. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, recently tweeted that he finally canceled his Roadster reservation after waiting 7.5 years. He called the whole thing frustrating. You know it's getting bad when your wealthiest, most patient customers are just giving up. And that brings us to the timing of this announcement, which a lot of people are finding deeply suspicious. I mean, this flying car bombshell didn't just appear out of nowhere. It landed right in the middle of a really heated shareholder vote over Musk's enormous pay package. The issue was his 2018 compensation plan. Now, to get the full value of that plan, we're talking tens of billions of dollars. Tesla's market cap had to hit some astronomical targets, eventually getting over $1 trillion. It's the biggest pay package in history, and it was up for a really critical revote by shareholders. And here's the kicker. Announcements like, "we're making a flying car," create a ton of hype. And that hype can directly move the stock price. And what happened? As clips of that interview spread online, Tesla's stock literally jumped. The financial incentive to create a wave of good news at that exact moment is just, it's undeniable. Okay, so let's put the whole genius versus hype thing on pause for a second and just talk about the practical side of this. Because there is a massive, massive difference between showing off a cool demo and actually selling a real, regulated, mass-produced product to people. So the idea of a flying car isn't pure fantasy anymore. The tech is generally called eVTOL. That's electric vertical takeoff and landing. And companies like Joby Aviation already have working prototypes. The real challenge isn't just making something fly. It's getting over the huge hurdles of things like battery density, safety regulations, and noise to make it a practical product you can actually sell. And the real-world obstacles are just staggering. I mean, getting FAA approval is a bureaucratic nightmare. Building a flying vehicle at scale is infinitely harder than building a car. And then you have to ask, where do these things even take off and land?
How much would they cost? Who would even insure them? These are the brutal, real-world questions that have to be answered.
Which brings us to what might be the most critical point in all of this. A demo, no matter how cool or unforgettable it is not a product you can actually buy. Musk has a history of showing off these incredible prototypes that then take years and years to reach customers, if they ever do. He promised a demo. It's so important we remember that's all he's promised, for now.
So, after all that, where does it leave us? Is it genius or is it hype? The answer, like with pretty much everything involving Elon Musk, is probably both. It's all part of this playbook that is at the same time both brilliant and incredibly frustrating.
But here's one last way to think about it. What if the announcement itself is the actual product? I mean, if you look at it that way, it's already a huge success. It got headlines everywhere, it dominated social media, it gave the stock a little boost. From that angle, the promise itself delivered real value, whether a flying car ever actually shows up or not.
And this really explains the two different worlds of Tesla. If you're a shareholder, this kind of thing is exactly what you want to see. The hype and the vision are what keep that valuation sky high. But if you're a customer who put down a deposit on a Roadster way back in 2017, you're probably just frustrated, watching him make new promises when the old ones are still unfulfilled. And the thing is, both of those perspectives are completely valid.
Which leaves us with one final big question to chew on. Elon Musk has built one of the most valuable companies on Earth, mostly by selling a vision of the future. It's a strategy that depends on the promise being just as powerful, maybe even more powerful than the actual product. So, what do you think? In today's world, has the dream become more valuable than the reality?